following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Heckma Harrison, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Well, there's no joy in Mudville as we begin a new week here on Mick Shots without Everson Walls. Once again, when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
That's right.
That's right. All right, welcome to Mick Shots. And yes, despite what happened on Sunday, Heckma says, welcome in to the SWBC podcast studio.
Oh, man.
We were supposed to forget that at midnight last night, right? The midnight rule is in effect. We're moving on, right?
Still stuck in my craw.
Yeah, we got to stew in this for a minute. This is
right.
One of those ones. You know.
Yep.
You said 12 o'clock midnight tonight, right?
Oh, well, that's what Shotty says. He forgets win or lose midnight the day of the game. Because he learned that from his papa.
I bet he hasn't.
Yeah. So.
But
Okay.
where do we start, Bill? Come on. Somebody.
Well.
Anybody.
Well.
Scream.
Remember a couple of weeks ago I had glass half full, glass.
Yeah, where's your cup? Where's your cup? Bring your cup back, Bill.
No reason for it now.
It got emptied.
Yep, it was emptied.
Optimista, pessimista.
Yeah.
Where are we on that right now, Mick?
No meat.
No meat. I'm sure you guys have heard it. You've been a part of all the discussions that's been happening on social media. Cowboys social media is on fire right now.
Well, that's why I stay off of it.
Mick, you would know if the world was ending if you were getting your news from social media. Okay, but it's right now, man. There's a lot of different opinions, and I'll just start with mine. I think right now, as far as just take the offense out of it, defensively. This is probably as worst a showing as we've, when it comes down to it was before stopping the pass. Now in the last couple of weeks, it's been stopping the run. I watched a guy, Enrico Dowdle, make a promise and deliver on that promise. And there was nothing that our defense could do to stop it. That Carolina lined up. Say that again.
Play better.
Yeah. Well, Carolina lined up and they put a hat on a hat and they whooped us. And you can make all the excuses and it can be the Eberflus, whatever you want to do. When guys just don't show up to the party, when guys are not establishing the line of scrimmage, when your linebackers, it just – for lack of the guy in front of them blowing assignments, but not getting to the tackle, not making the tackle. And secondary-wise, the communication is completely off. And how many times have we seen guys look at one another with this expression right here? Turn and what were you supposed to do?
Upraised.
Well, what am I supposed to do? And there are some usual suspects always around the misfortune. And I don't know. Donovan Wilson is one of those guys that this season has probably gotten off to as worst a start as any safety could have right now. But you got to ask. It begs the question: what is he looking at sometimes? What is he? If your assignment is past this deep third, why are you trying to jump something in front of you? Why is your responsibility? If your responsibility, like you hear teams and you hear coaches say it all the time. Bill Belichick always says this: do your job. And if you do your job, you let another guy do his, and then you won't have two guys in the same area. But I'm just watching this game on Sunday, and I'm saying to myself, this is This is about as bad as I've seen a Dallas Cowboys defense. And you can go back to the 2020 season, whatever. But right now, the brand of ball that they're playing and the way that they're getting whooped at the line of scrimmage, to me, is what's laughable and what's embarrassing for all Dallas Cowboy fans right now. And, it's a big question mark around all of this. And, I think through the week we're going to try and find the answers. But I don't know if you're ever going to get an answer if you're going to keep these same personnel, same guys running back out there on the field.
Well, you don't have many choices, do you?
Nah.
Okay. They exhausted the roster out there. Here's the worst part. And Donovan Wilson, they basically told you what they were going to do. You know those old restaurants that used to put up the eat sign and it would be flashing E-A-T, eat? Rico Dotto told you what they were going to do. They came out, and I haven't counted it up, but I'll guarantee you the far majority of their formations was 2 tight ends. So what are you going to do when you got 2 tight ends out there?
You're going
to run the ball.
Yeah.
They put 3 tight ends out there. Well, what are they going to do? They're going to run the football.
Except on the second play of the game where they put 3 tight ends out there and they threw it to one of the tight ends and nobody covered him.
Because no one covered him, right? And no one rerouted him. He just got a free release down the field. That's the most rushing yards they've given up. 17 games ago, they gave up 223. They gave up 216 yards rushing. They made no bones about what they were going to do. And here's the worst part. It's not Rico Dotto. I could have run through some of those holes. Schottenheimer pointed out after the game that 75 to 80% of their runs, nobody got touched until 5 to 6 yards downfield. And that was the problem. The defensive line was getting mauled. I mean mauled, to the point where they were knocking the Cowboys' defensive linemen off the field, and yet they still got released to get to the linebackers. There were times they were playing 2 tight ends. The Cowboys were in a nickel defense. I need another linebacker up there. I don't need Reddy Stewart up there, right? Trying to make tackles. And they were just getting blown off the line of scrimmage. And so if you're going to have that happen to you, you're going to turn Bryce Young into a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yes.
His quarterback rating is the second highest of his career, 114 point whatever it was, 8, I think. Yeah, 8. 3 touchdowns. That offense doesn't function that way. But they told you they were going to run the ball, and you weren't better prepared to stop it.
And I haven't had a chance but to go through the first part of the first quarter so far.
The first,
if you look at the first series of the game, to your point on when they had nickel defense out there where it appeared it was 2 tight ends, on one of those, 87, Bryson Tremaine is actually a wide receiver.
Right.
And so I think what their adjustment was when 87, they had him in their substitutions as a wide receiver, and so that's when they went nickel. But he is a bigger wide receiver, and he's kind of a tweener between a tight end and a wide receiver.
But he can block.
And that's the point, is he can block. And so their personnel was nickel, but they were using him more as a tight end type, more of a bunch formation.
It just, and it just continued and continued and continued. And nothing was worse than them getting the ball back in a tie game with 6:07 to go, and they ate the entire clock up to kick a field goal. They couldn't stop them. 4th and 4, right? Why is Bland playing 8-9 yards off the receiver? All he had to do was come out of the
outside
slot.
Leverage too.
Yeah, all he had to do is come out.
Greg Olsen called it at the snap. They're going to the slot.
Yeah, I could even see that, right? And his first step was back. I can't believe that's where he was supposed to line up. I just can't believe that was the defensive call. And so things like that. And so what happens is when your defense is playing like that, the offense has to be perfect. And they weren't perfect. They kicked 2 field goals inside the 10-yard line. Can't have that. And you guys have heard me say it. The more field goals you kick, the closer you are to losing. Got to have touchdowns. They left 8 points on the field because they couldn't get into the end zone because they could not run the football. 31 yards rushing. Are you kidding me? What happened? What happened to that great offensive line? Got 2 starters back in, right? Maybe they should have had all 4 backups in there. And I don't believe that, but
yeah, this is when you bring up the really is a sore spot for me, and I was hoping we brought that up later, but we're going to start. It's just that to me, I have a hard time dealing with that because you know that guys are smart enough to understand and have situational awareness to be closer than that and to at least defend to the sticks. And when you don't defend to the sticks, then you're saying to the world, you're saying to Bryce Young, I am giving you this. And it'd be a different thing if his responsibility was underneath and he was lined up more over to that side than over to the left. Whatever he's contemplating at that schematically, if you don't want to give up what you're doing defensively, you're 4th and 4, and I'm just saying cheat over. Just cheat over some. And we could talk about Bland, whatever the defense was, and I'm yelling timeout. I'm yelling call timeout. Don't allow this play to run because everybody and their mother knows where the ball is going to go. But I feel like that's not smart football. That's just, and I'm using the right words. It's just not smart football when you have guys that have played the game as long as Bland and Murray have played the game to allow that to be picked up on a quick slant. And it was a throw. It was a throw, by the way, that Bryce Young had to. It had to be a laser shot, but that was the only option that he had, and he took the one that you gave him defensively, and that's a hard pill to swallow. And I'm sure Eberflus in film study, when these guys are circling this thing up, and he's sitting there and he's saying to his guys, this can't be the way that we're practicing it. So why do you get out here and do something completely different than the way that we're practicing it? Defensive line-wise, Osa Odighizuwa, just some of the gap responsibilities from Odighizuwa and company. Like, guys, he can't be coaching 2 gap up that way. He can't be telling guys to blow your assignment and jump out of a hole and leave a big gaping hole behind you because you're getting gashed in the running game. And as you guys just said, look, you're getting beat up front, and not only are you giving them the running game, but they pass the ball on you at will, basically. And that's what's going to happen, obviously, when you're having that kind of success in your running game.
Well, they tried it with some success. They started playing a 5-man front, and it did bottle things up because they kind of fit in the gaps a little bit better. But again, if you got 5 up there, then you're sacrificing somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they just don't. We've said this before. They don't seem to play with their eyes. It's like, just look, watch, recognize. You know, they didn't redo their entire offense, right?
No,
same offense.
No, it's the same offense. Same one that played Miami last week. Yes,
so
same one.
It's not like they were fooling you. They basically told you what they were going to do, and they did it. And as Dak Prescott said, that Rico got the last laugh.
Well, Tedero McMillan, who
hadn't had a touchdown catch yet.
Well, he did. He did.
Yeah,
yes, he did. He got him 2. He got him 2 yesterday. But we made that guys look good. We made Jimmy Horn, the guy that you mentioned, the other Horn.
The other Horn.
The other Horn. We made him look good on those gadget plays that he came in on. It was a mess.
But you know what? And it was. But you still got to score. They know they got to score 30 points. They got to score 30 points or more to win. Yeah.
27, Mickey, in all these years that you've been doing this, 27 on the road.
Oh, that would be great.
27 on the road, Mick. Like, you'll take that anywhere. If I told you Friday they were going to score 27 points on the road, you would have walked out of here and said, we won that football game.
Just count up how many points they've given up losing, right? 24 was the fewest.
Wow.
Scored 40 and couldn't win.
Wow.
Had a tie. Scored, 27. Okay, but no, they gave up 30.
On the 4th and 4 or 4th and 3, whatever it was, slant to Renfro, where we're talking Kenneth Murray and we're talking Deron Bland. Here in the break, I've got the end zone copy, and so I want both of you to look at it, and then we'll discuss on the other side of the break what we're looking at here. Yeah. But I encourage everyone to look at the end zone copy on the All-22 to see the alignment on defense, where Murray is lined up.
There's no way he gets over there.
And what formation Carolina has, their empty formation.
Why are you that good?
The gap between where is it Thomas and where Ezaraku are lining up. And I want to save it for after the break because I want y'all to look at it so that we're well informed to discuss what was supposed to happen there.
Well,
but before that, the Cowboys had it in their power offensively on their last possession, what turned out to be their last possession of the game. And you credit Carolina for making the plays to keep, on a 4-yard loss on a screen pass to start that possession. And then there were checkdowns after that because now you're 2nd and 14, and then you're, 3rd and 20 or something like that after a 6-yard loss or 8-yard loss.
3rd and 22.
Yeah. But it gets back to what you pointed out, Mickey, is the inability to run the football. The Cowboys should have been able, even getting the ball with 8 minutes left, to be able to basically do. Now, they may not have been able to run off 8 minutes of the clock starting at their own 45, but it was in their power to conceivably do what Carolina did to them when they got the ball with 6 minutes left.
So run the clock down.
Run the clock all the way down and and the Cowboys had the ability to score a touchdown with their offense and put the game away offensively. And so I think when Schottenheimer looks at things, when he's talking after the game about we need to be more physical, he's not talking just on defense. He's talking on offense.
Sure.
And the inability to run the football came back to bite them in the most critical point of the game right there.
And to set that up, they're at the 46. Mm-hmm. They need 10, 15 yards to be in field goal range, right? Now, you don't want a field goal there. You want to drive down the field. They end up losing yards instead of going forward. I mean,
but if you hand the ball off to Williams,
right,
you're okay.
But they tried
on a bad run, you get 1 yard, 2 yards. Now you're second 8 or 9 instead of 2nd and 14, and you can do more offensively.
And they tried to fool them with that rollout and then throw back to Williams,
and they had it snuffed out.
And it didn't.
Look, at that point,
well, they had basically screens forming on either side,
right?
Where I think it was Flanoy was in motion, and he was not going downfield. He was an outlet on the right side, and they got penetration, and so. Can't remember who got away from Steele, and so Dak was under pressure too. But Merrick had it snuffed out. Right defense to.
I think at that point, Bill, that defensive line for the Carolina Panthers, when you're talking about running the ball, A'Shawn Robinson showed up and showed out.
Bobby Brown did.
Yeah. We
two local guys, A'Shawn Robinson from Arlington Heights and Bobby Brown from Arlington Lamar.
Yes, they. Cowboy fans since birth, and I'm assuming that I don't know, but I know that those guys, the defensive line, showed you that they were not going to allow Javonte Williams to beat you. And
we didn't even mention Derek Brown.
No, imagine that, right? And so you're saying we're going to take away one of the things that you guys do, and that's what most defenses do. We're not going to allow you to have everything. We're just going to try and take away something. And they were successful at taking away the run. And my philosophy at that point is George Pickens is killing them. Okay? Okay, we could talk about what Rico did, but can we talk about that George Pickens is literally unstoppable? All right? And I understand sharing distribution to everybody else, But, man, when the game is on the line, get the ball into the hands of your guy that you know can get it done for you. They had no answer for George Pickens the entire game. Allow him to eat. Move him around. Put him in the slot. Put him in motion.
They did.
Do something with him. Do something with him at that point where you throw him the ball. I'm talking about when you get to that point. Go to your best player and throw him the ball. Don't allow it to be.
Think that?
You didn't throw it to him.
I know.
You didn't throw it to him.
Did they think that?
I don't know, but I'm saying at that point.
I mean Carolina.
It doesn't matter what they thought.
Well, you should.
At nine catches and 168 yards, it didn't matter what they thought. They couldn't stop it. And so give them another dose of it.
They might have triple teamed him.
Well, they had better triple teamed them because they couldn't stop it, is what I'm saying. And when you can't stop it, keep feeding it, because that's exactly what they did to Rico Dowdle. Keep giving that man the ball. I'm gonna keep yelling it. Give it to George Pickens.
What was the biggest play on that outside of the 4th and 3, okay, on the Carolina drive? The next play was just as big as the 4th and 3. Because with the timeout situation, the Cowboys with just 2 timeouts left, when Dowdle goes for 9 yards, the game is over.
First down.
Right.
They own first down.
The game is over because now you got to spend your timeouts, and you don't. So the Renfro catch came with 2 minutes left.
Right.
And then first play, and they're borderline field goal range at that point. Okay, Carolina is. If you stop Dowdle to a reasonable gain instead of 9 yards, then with just 2 timeouts left, you don't have enough time to save clock. when it's 2nd and 1, game is over at that point.
I believe I packed up my stuff at that point.
Mm-hmm. It was time to go.
Time to head down.
What ended the game wasn't the 4th and 3; it was the 9-yard run on 1st and 10 that ended the game.
And you could not. And I've heard others talk about this 3rd down, how bad we were on 3rd down, and how 3 for 8 on 3rd down is so misleading when you look at the stats, because they owned us on 1st and 2nd down. They owned us. I mean, if Rico Dowdle was playing flag football, we wouldn't have taken the flag off of him in 1st down if past 5-6 yards. And that is
the most telling thing is they only had 8 3rd downs in the game. Carolina.
Yeah.
They didn't get to 3rd down on many possessions.
It's one of those games, and I never like to see a game where I come and look at the stat sheet and Dak has thrown the ball for 40, 45 times. But this would have been that game. If I'd come into any game where Dak should have, thrown 30 for 40, 30 for 45, I would have liked to come back and look at that stat sheet. Because, look, what the Carolina Panthers were doing with your offensive line, they were owning you. And where Dak had opportunity to get out, step up in the pocket, things like they were few and far in between. But I tell you what he did do. He made opportunities happen down the field. And he again, Dak Prescott, lights out, and he's going to have one of those games. We don't know when it's going to come, but he's going to have a game he's not going to be on. And God bless us all when that happens, because I know our defense at this point, man, hadn't proven that they could stop anybody.
All right, I'm going to show y'all the end zone copy on that 4th and 3 play, and we'll come back and talk about that and more on this run defense and what the Cowboys might have been able to do differently to at least manage the run game a little bit better defensively when we come back in just a moment.
The National Medal of Honor Museum is now open in Arlington, Texas, just a few blocks from AT&T Stadium. Immersive exhibits and exciting technology allow you to fly a rescue helicopter mission in Vietnam and have conversations with virtual Medal of Honor recipients. Come be inspired by these incredible stories of ordinary Americans who did the extraordinary. Get your tickets at mohmuseum.org.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/cowboys.
Hey, Cowboy fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience the best sports venue in the world, AT&T Stadium. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your package today.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Back to Mick Shots.
Cowboys Nation, Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, is exclusively in the Dallas Cowboys app. Join the official fan club today to receive access to Cowboys Drops, where you can win game tickets, autographed items, exclusive experiences, and more. Download the app now to join.
All right, real quick, we don't need to dwell on it, but on this 4th and 4 play, the slant to Renfro, we were looking at the end zone copy, and that gives you the proper perspective on the spacing on the defensive line and the linebackers and so forth. And basically, just in a nutshell, what you had here, the alignment that the Cowboys had defensively, whatever game that they were running to try to get to the quarterback on that play, you've got 3 defensive linemen this is from the Cowboys' perspective, to the right side of the hash mark on the right side, okay? And you had Ezeraku, who was the lone defensive lineman on the left side. He was on the hash mark on the other side. So Murray is in the gap between, it looks like, Solomon Thomas and Ezeraku, which is basically, if you just picture the hash marks, okay, you've got no defender, no defensive line between the hash marks. And so Murray is the guy that is the one defender that is in that spot. Carolina's running an empty backfield right there. You have to have a defender there to guard against a quarterback draw because you got 3 offensive linemen between those hash marks. And so that's why Murray was situated where he was in the alignment that the Cowboys had. Bland's playing off on the slot, Carolina's left side of their offense. He's in the slot. He's playing off, and so it was easy pickings for Renfro to run the slant and get the throw. And Murray didn't have time to get over and get back to defend it. They could have run. Leggett is lined up in the slot to the right side with the Cowboy defender with outside leverage on him. If he runs a slant, Murray's in great position to defend that. But
Murray's responsibility was clearly the other side because that's where he goes as soon as the ball is snapped.
Well, I think he read that, okay, he's not coming. He's throwing, and so he got there. He's reading the quarterback's eyes, and that's where he's going.
But there's no way he
didn't have time to get there.
There's no way if he was that far over to the left or the offense is right, there's no way that he would have gotten there in time anyway.
Right, which is why Bland's got to play
And then based off of that alignment that you just shown, even if they decided to go with a quarterback sneak, they still would have picked up the 4 yards because of the space between him and the next defender.
Right.
There's no way. I mean, they got a space between the back of that wall and to Mick shots that they would have had to defend.
You had 3 offensive linemen to block Murray. They could have run the quarterback draw.
There wasn't another linebacker out there, was there?
I've got to look. Let me back up to see where.
You got to widen your angle to find the next linebacker.
Side angle here.
Yeah.
Can't get it to back up.
But either way, man, that's one of they caught you. They caught you, and they could have obviously still. Bryce Young had his option to either throwing the slant to Leggett or throwing the slant to imminently who it ended up going to.
So what did
you had Marquise Bell out there.
Bell was out.
Bell was out there. They had trips right and then 2 receivers to the left. and you had Diggs and maybe Stewart on. No, that's Bland. Diggs and Bland were. Diggs had
the slot guy, right?
Diggs has the outside receiver on the left side. Bland had the slot.
Yeah,
Renfro.
that's what I meant.
Right.
Yeah.
And then on the other side,
assuming it was
you had 3 DBs on the left side, and you had Wanye playing he was in Chapel Hill. At
Great.
Safety.
Great. It's just great.
So
seriously.
Look how far back he is. You have to open the screen up. Was he 15, 20 yards off?
He's 19 yards off the line of scrimmage. He's at the 21-yard line on 4th and 4.
Why?
Oh, my.
Yes.
Literally Chapel Hill.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
The ball is just inside the 40, and I believe it's Wanye, whoever the deep safety is. It's single high. The deep safety is at the 21-yard line, 19 yards off the line of scrimmage.
So they were gambling that they were going to go for it all.
I mean, so do we think that the coach lined him up there?
And that's what we don't know.
Exactly. Right. It reminds me of, I remember, this is going back when Roy Williams was playing safety for the Cowboys. It reminds me, I think it was a game against San Francisco, and basically it was a 4th and 2 or a 3rd and 2 situation where clearly they end the game if they get a first down. They were in their own end of the field, 3rd and 2, and Roy is playing 20 yards back in the secondary. I mean, there's no, and it's like 3 tight ends. It's a bunch formation, and he's playing 20 yards back, safety. And
that's why, Bill, I was screaming, time out. Time out. The alignment is all wrong.
Because as it turned out, you didn't have enough timeouts anyway. Yes. If they get the first down, you've already burned one. You've already burned one. So
you're gonna. I mean, and here's the thing. I mean, this is the one catch he made was the one to just pretty much end it all. Hunter Renfro, one catch for 7 yards. That's literally all he needed.
Okay, so what did you guys think of the interference call on 3rd and 7?
Oh, on Kaiir Elam?
At the 17-yard line.
Yep. Yeah,
that guy was falling.
Look.
It's like, how do you, even Olsen said it. It's like, how do you throw that flag?
Arguing flags in the NFL is just this, man. I saw another interference with Diggs. It was Diggs and Reddy Stewart. They both committed it at the same time. Yeah. So, I mean, in that game,
that was obvious.
That was obvious.
Yeah. And the question on that was it was a defensive hold on Stewart. And remember, the officials got together, and I would imagine their conversation was Diggs' hold, was a ball in the air, was it a pass interference rather than a hold?
Right.
And I think they called both of them. I mean, basically, you couldn't miss both of them, and they just determined the ball wasn't in the air on the Diggs one, and so they called it on Stewart instead.
The one on Kaiir Elam, I really I didn't think it was as egregious as any of the other ones that I've seen. I thought that was a hard one to call, but
even then, okay. All right, so they got the call. Now it's first down at the 29-yard line. And what happens on 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line? Rico goes for 9 yards. So twice on that drive, Rico goes for 9 yards on first down there. And then after they converted the 3rd and 1 with the rollout and pass to Trimble, Rico goes for 4 yards on first down, 3 yards. Then they on the Renfro, what we talked about before, 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Yeah.
Rico goes for 9, game over.
Yeah.
And the game started that way, too.
And it ended that way.
You go to the first drive of the game, which gets me to ask this question. Okay, first play of the game, Rico goes for 9 yards. Then it's the pass to the tight end for 21, the rookie tight end, Mitchell Evans. And then Rico goes for 12, okay?
No one touched him.
And
they had 6 guys in the
Cowboys started Marshawn Nealon at defensive end. He played 20 snaps in the game. He missed last week with an injury. He's got an ankle injury. And here's my question. And so I feel for Marshawn Nealon because he was limited in practice throughout the week. I had a question whether he was even going to play just because of that. Okay, he didn't sit out any practice, but he did miss last week's game. And so, how many defensive ends are on this roster? Who is the best run defending defensive end on this roster?
Nealon.
Nealon is. So he starts the game at defensive end, knowing they're going to run the ball. It was obvious from the first play of the game, Dowdle's 9-yard run, which they ran right at Nealon, and then on his second play, he's on skates as Trimble is the tight end's blocking him. And I just feel for Nealon that he's in this position because clearly he cannot plant and defend the run like he normally does. But you do not. This team misses DeMarcus Lawrence so much. D-Law throughout his career here, and it's an unselfish thing to as a defensive end to defend the run, because you want sacks is what makes you money in this league. And to D-Law's credit, throughout his career, he was a baller as far as defending the run, and the Cowboys just don't have defensive ends. I think Ezaraku's going to get there, and I think that they saw that on his tape at Boston College, that he can have that, but he's not there yet at his size. But that's what this team, I think, is missing big time. And the other part of it is there's such a mindset, and Micah had this mindset, going after the quarterback so much. You're crashing so much. What about setting the edge on defense?
Yep.
It's not happening.
And if you go back and look at those runs up the middle, they were double-teaming both tackles.
Exactly.
And
they're double-teaming both tackles to the point where they're driving them back into the linebackers.
And they're going to yeah.
That's right.
Yep. And they said, we can single block these defensive ends. Foul.
And a lot of times the defensive end's taking them out. They're blocking them with wide receivers.
Yeah.
But my problem with that
the defensive end is taking them. Sam Williams on Dowdle's 8-yard run at the 21-yard line. Sam's crashing, and he almost got to the quarterback, but the quarterback didn't have the ball.
Right.
Rico's got the ball, and it was Leggett who was supposedly blocking Williams, but Sam, he crashed. And was he coached to do that? I don't know.
Yeah. The problem I have with that is they didn't start that in that final drive. They did that for 4 quarters.
That's right.
And they pulled that. Right. They pulled that off over and over again. And at some point, an adjustment has to be made. I agree with you about Marshawn Nealon. I agree with you what you're saying about DeMarcus Lawrence. But he ain't coming back through that door.
Right. I'm not saying, because he's hurt right now in Seattle at his age. I'm not saying that they needed to re-sign DeMarcus Lawrence. But that is what they're missing on this defensive line, I think.
And Donovan Ezaraku, too, is, like you said, a young guy that you see those flashes of him being able to step up and stop the run. But your linebacker play right now is way below average.
Shamar's getting a lot of tackles.
But he's getting a lot of tackles.
12 yards downfield.
It's called tackling guys' wallet. It's not happening.
Rico's the play I was talking about, Rico's 12-yard run where Trimble blocked Nealon.
Yeah.
Put him on skates. And Shamar, it was a little counter. Dowdle had one step to the right. Well, Shamar went to his left, and then he's got to work through the trash to get over. He probably got credited with a tackle, but it was 12 yards downfield.
Yeah.
And you've got a rookie
it was so
21-year-old linebacker.
It was so bad, I don't think I even went to look at the defensive stats after the game.
Mm-hmm. No?
No, I just did now. He had 11 tackles.
He had 11 tackles.
Murray had 7.
7, yeah.
Wilson had 6.
Somebody's got to make the tackle.
So stop me when I get to a defensive lineman. Wilson had 6. Stewart had 5. Leofau had 4.
You're going to be going for a while.
Sam Williams had 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Leofau,
and James Houston actually had 3 or 4 tackles, and
Houston had 4.
Okay.
But the guy that did something was Leofau. He had 4 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 quarterback hit. They only hit the quarterback 5 times.
Yeah.
1 sack 5 times.
That's because they kept handing off.
And we thought they had it fixed because they sacked the Jets 5 times.
Yeah, no. This was.
Wait.
Oh, and here's the other thing that we haven't mentioned as far as the run defense. There's a first-round draft pick from 2 years ago that was inactive.
Well.
Oh,
Mozzie.
Yeah.
Mozzie was inactive. And so you've got the 7th-round rookie taking his spot.
And Toya didn't. He didn't have his best game.
He couldn't deal with the double teams. He couldn't hold the ground.
Yeah, that's I guess, Mickey, that's where I am with this defense, because I think a guy like Toya, his entire career, he's been double teamed. No one's been trying to single block any of these guys.
Well, but he was a 7th-round.
No, I understand. I'm just saying what you're used to going up against, what you're used to seeing.
Right.
The same thing for, number 97. You got, these are guys, Osa Digizua, they're used to seeing that. And here's the other part about it is Kenny Clark. We are asking Kenny Clark, just like we're asking Dak, to be on his A game each and every game. And he's trying to hold it in the road, but he can't do it by himself. He can't. I mean, especially if it's all going to hell in the handbasket around him.
And he's getting doubled.
Tripled.
Both of them are getting doubled inside.
But you're looking at the alignment. We just saw the alignment that had one linebacker with 3 linemen in front of him. I mean, that's never going to work. That's never going to work. If you're asking Kenneth Murray to take that on, he ain't that good.
Well, I think on that one, I think they're running a game to try to get.
This is going to stunt back into the hole some kind of way.
Right. And they didn't feel like Young was going to run a quarterback draw, That's
size. I guess that's a perfect time to gamble, but you gambled wrong either way because he still completes a 7-yard pass to Hunter Renfrow. Again, I don't know what Deron Bland is thinking on that play. I don't know why he would be set up so far to the outside on the play like that when he knows that they only have to go 4 yards to get to the sticks. Why not set up at the sticks? And I would think, would you think that Deron Bland is a better zone or man cover? Which one? I mean, I've always thought of him I always think of him like Diggs. Both of those guys. I think they're better in short spaces than they are off the ball. And
they weren't in zone on that. He knew that was his guy.
I'm just saying when you're 8 yards off the ball, it doesn't matter what you're in.
Did Bland think the safety was maybe 10 yards downfield instead of 20 yards downfield? It would have helped if the safety lines up at the 30 instead of the 21.
Right.
And again, Mickey, I only bring that up to say be closer to the line of scrimmage.
Well, but you don't know what he was told to do.
Okay.
Right?
It's 4th and 4.
But to that point, like he's got outside leverage on the slot, and maybe he thought that the safety was playing up at the 10 yards off the line of scrimmage instead of 20 yards off. He's got help across the middle.
See,
I don't know.
And there's a case, be careful what you wish for. Hooker's not in there.
No.
And everybody's on him, right? He's not in there. You're
4th and 4.
You're playing backups.
Free release.
You're playing backups.
Mm-hmm. And a slant. That's the easiest throw for the quarterback to pick up 4 yards, if that's what he's going for. And you're already 8 yards, 9 yards on the outside.
Here's the other thing. We got to go to break. As we talked about, there are 3 defensive linemen lined up to that side of the field. That means you got 6 hands there. That a 5'10" quarterback, 5'11" quarterback.
See if anybody got their hands up.
5'11" quarterback has to throw through 6 hands. Let me hit it. Come on now. Here we go. Anybody get their hands up?
Nobody.
No.
Nobody got their hands up.
All right, we're back with more Mix Shots in a moment.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal, writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide, because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
The National Medal of Honor Museum is now open in Arlington, Texas, just a few blocks from AT&T Stadium. Immersive exhibits and exciting technology allow you to fly a rescue helicopter mission in Vietnam and have conversations with virtual Medal of Honor recipients. Come be inspired by these incredible stories of ordinary Americans who did the extraordinary. Get your tickets at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Shots.
Match your favorite player with official on-field collections like Sideline, Crucial Catch, Salute to Service, and more. Visit a pro shop near you or log on to shop.dallascowboys.com. A Fanatics experience, and stay ready for game day.
All right. We just got like a couple minutes left here, so make it go.
I think we need to put some perspective on the loss.
Okay, let's do that.
So we talked on Friday about the Eagles getting beat, and nobody had fewer losses in the NFC East than the Cowboys. 2 losses. Everybody had 2 or more losses, right? And now you down your leg, and now you lose when you have an opportunity to be right in the race, right? Going up against a 2-3 team.
And you're just a half game ahead of the Giants now.
Ahead of the Giants now. And that loss really gives perspective. And I said it on Friday that this was going to be a test to see where the Cowboys are. They were on somewhat of a roll with a tie, a win. You win this game, you get to 3-2-1, and you're feeling good about yourself. And you get beat. And not just get beat, you got beat. And this one's going to hurt, and it's going to take a lot to recover on Sunday against Washington, which plays tonight, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like, okay, you're starting to get close to fading if you don't recover and win a game.
You got Washington Sunday, and then the following Sunday at Denver.
At Denver, and then is it
Arizona on a Monday night game.
Monday night game. So yeah, it's almost.
And then
like
a Monday night game against Vegas after a bye week.
I saw something Friday I thought was pretty clever at a high school game. Every time the opposing team got a penalty and they backed them up, I heard this beeping go on, and I was looking behind me in the stands because I was way up the top. I go, why is that truck out there? No, they were playing the beep, beep, beep as the truck was backing up when they were walking off the penalty. And I said, oh, that's brilliant, right? And it made me think, the Cowboys right now, there's a beep, beep, beep going on right now.
Backing up.
They're backing up.
Unbelievable. Hey, look, it's as bad. You can't count it twice, but that's a bad one right there for the film, for everything, for morale. Talked about moments and momentum. We lost our moment, and the momentum was snatched right out of our mouth.
Well, okay, the 2 of the 3 losses in a tie were all bad moments, right? They had an opportunity in every one of those to win.
Yep.
And they didn't make the play.
Okay, when the schedule came out, you got Washington at home and then at Denver. What did you expect the Cowboys to do in those 2 games? 2-0, 1-1, or 0-2?
Oh, and these 2?
These next 2 games coming up.
1-1.
1-1.
Split.
So that now what you have to do to make up for Carolina yesterday,
you got to go 2-0.
You got to go 2-0.
Yep.
And that makes up for Carolina, right?
That's a large ask.
But if you think about this team, when you expect the worst, you get their best, and when you expect the best, you get their worst. And that has 500 sitting all over.
So I'm expecting the worst the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to Rico Dowdle. Shout out to Rico Dowdle. I can't say enough about the job he did yesterday. And, by the way, I mean, he was here. I never seen him perform like that when he was here. I'm like, who is this guy?
Just like
who is that guy?
He didn't have holes like that.
Well, he didn't have 30. Did he have a 30-carry game the whole time he was here?
30. He didn't have a 30-carry season last year.
What? I mean, who is this guy?
But you know what? Afterwards, he was on national TV and he was polite.
Yeah.
He gave credit to his offensive line, and he didn't. They were trying to get him to talk about the buckle up, and he never.
That's because he's a free agent.
He didn't mention it, right?
He's a free agent after this year.
Yeah,
right?
And he's getting
it's a one-year deal, wasn't it?
He's getting close to hitting all his incentives. Look at this guy's incentives, by the way. He's got a bunch of $500,000 incentives that he's going to reach.
Yeah.
He didn't have a lot of incentives, to tell you the truth.
Okay. All right. We don't have time to get into
all
his
right.
contract. So, all right. How about we do it again tomorrow?
Sure.
And how about we do it with a Pro Bowl cornerback in our midst to get his take on
Are
it?
we going to give him his opportunity, or
I think
we're passing over?
No. He gets his opportunity tomorrow. Everson will be back tomorrow, and we'll shout at you at noon on Tuesday.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?